We like to look back on history through rose-tinted glass. Knights in shining armor, queens in velvet gowns, feast halls lit by candlelight. But those stories lie. The truth about medieval life wasn't told in ballads. It was carved in bone. Those who lived through it didn't speak of what they saw, because in the Middle Ages, survival wasn't just about food or shelter. It was about what you were willing to forget, who you were willing to burn, and what doors you knew better than to open. A bleak morning mist rolls over a narrow road. The camera follows a wooden cart dragged by a half-starved donkey. Its wheels groan through the mud. Inside, a man lies coughing, his face sunken, wrapped in thin wool. His wife cradles his feet. They haven't eaten in 2 days. Welcome to England. The year is 1347. If you've survived to the age of 29, you're already doing better than most. Your bones ache like someone twice your age. Your teeth are blackened from grain dust. Your back bent from years of tilling fields that barely feed your children, and winter hasn't even begun. The cart rolls into a village with thatched roofs and smoke curling from crude chimneys. A church bell tolls dully in the distance, but no one comes to pray. Pigs root near the graveyard. Chickens dart across the path. A child scratches lice from her scalp with a stick. Medieval survival was not glorious. It wasn't about knights or dragons. It was about rot. About watching your newborn die in your arms and having no one to blame but God. Inside a dim hut, a woman grinds acorns into a bitter paste. Her son watches, hollow-eyed. There, boiling tree bark to stave off hunger. Behind them, a crude wooden crucifix hangs crookedly on the wall. A candle flickers, barely enough light to see. I knelt by the stream again today. No fish came. I asked Father Eamon if we are cursed. He looked to the sky and said, "Worse, we are forgotten. The Lord taxes your bread. The priest taxes your guilt. You pray, not for salvation, but that your child won't cough tonight, because lately the coughing doesn't stop." A young man digs a shallow grave. The body of his wife, wrapped in linen, lies beside him. Her hands are clutching a rosary. He stares blankly. A priest chants nearby, but no one responds. A black-robed figure appears on the edge of town one morning. He has no shoes. He speaks no words. His hands are ink-stained. He carries only scrolls, old, brittle, and covered in Latin. Most priests can't even read. In a world where literacy is feared, knowledge becomes dangerous. A woman with herbs, a witch, a man with books, a sorcerer, a child who dreams of fire. Possessed. Because the unknown isn't exciting in this world. It's demonic. Burned the midwife who whispered over the stillborn babe. Claimed the devil heard her cry. Her ashes scattered before dawn. The townspeople gather outside the church. A woman kneels, bloodied. Her crime? Washing her child. During Lent, the priest raises a hand, and the lash falls. Children are forced to watch. The church ruled every aspect of life. Fear was the glue. Guilt was the leash. And miracles? They were punished just as fast as curses. Scene, a boy collapses in the field. His mother carries him to the edge of town. To the hermit gives her a root wrapped in silk. He says nothing. She bows her head. That night, the child's fever breaks. By morning, he is laughing again, but the priest has already heard. She was taken before the sun rose, accused of consorting. Her boy wailed like death itself. The priest placed a blindfold on the child, said innocence must never see such shadows. The hermit is dragged from his hut. They find dozens of scrolls, all biblical, but older than any they've seen. The priest burns them without reading. The villagers don't protest, because strange things have started happening. Milk turns black. Candles flicker when no wind blows. The church bell rings on its own. And then the door appears. The monastery at the edge of town has been abandoned for years. The plague hit it first. The monks died within days. Its gates are nailed shut. But one evening, a traveler arrives. He hears whispers from the monastery. At first, he thinks it's the wind. But then he sees it, a door, perfectly square, carved of wood that gleams like oil, etched with symbols no villager recognizes, but it wasn't there yesterday. A parchment illustration, a stone wall with a single wooden door. Standing around it are faceless monks. Above them, Latin script reads, "He who opens shall not return." We call it the door. Versions of it appear from Scandinavia to Italy. Always tied to plague pits. Always appearing after mass death. The traveler opens it. Inside, darkness. No walls, no floor. Just void. He steps through. The door vanishes. At dawn, the monks find something at the gate. A baby. Wrapped in silken cloth embroidered with strange red lettering. "I have seen." The child never cried, never spoke, but by age 4 he was writing Latin and drawing one thing over and over, the door. He draws it still, each day. I asked him why. He placed his hand on the wall and whispered, though he has no tongue. I could not understand the words, but I felt them. Modern day. Archaeologists unearth the old monastery ruins. They find a sealed room. No windows, no doors. Just one smooth stone wall. Inside the chamber are 13 skeletons, each seated, each facing the wall. Their hands are folded in prayer. They weren't buried. They weren't tortured. They were waiting, voluntarily, like monks in eternal vigil. Among the remains, they find a child's toy, a spinning top carved from ivory. Initials burned into it, AM. Same as the child found at the gate. There's also a parchment, untouched by time, a final drawing, the same door. But this time, it's cracked open, a sliver of black behind it. You wouldn't last a day in medieval times, not because of hunger, not because of plague, or war, or cold, but because the real threat wasn't outside your door. It was what waited behind the ones you should never open. The Fear Archive, a museum exhibit labeled Mysteries of the Middle Ages. Children walk past laughing. But one child stops. In front of a parchment, she tilts her head. Her parents call her, but she doesn't answer. Her finger traces the drawing of the door. She whispers, "I've seen this." Title CARD, The Fear Archive.